Hey folks, it's Tim the Toolman. Welcome back to our Show Tell. Right here I'm joined by Papa Toolman. And we were talking the other night, and he was telling stories from back in the day, and I thought they were pretty funny. So why not have a little bit of a fireside storytelling session here on Car Show Tell, and listen along, and hope you enjoy them.
Back in the BK days,
Before kids. And now, in that part of time, you owned some interesting cars. We had a '67 Mustang that you bought.
And before that, I had a '62 Austin Wheelie Sprite. I think it might have had all of, I don't know, 67 horsepower or something like that. I'm not sure. But I did manage to twist two axles off with the thing. Don't ask me how. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that's when I got out of high school and got a real job, I had to get something I could depend on. And that's when I bought the Mustang. And I had that for a long time. I got drafted. I had it while I was in the Army. Beat it back and forth between Harrisburg and Fort Jackson a couple times.
Yeah.
And it was a good car. I think it had, I don't know, close to 200,000 miles on it when I got rid of it.
Huh.
But,
and at that point, a Mustang was a reliable, like a day-to-day car, daily driver.
yeah, pretty much.
Would it really be what you call a family car?
Well, at the time, the family only consisted of me and the wife, so it was perfect for that. But I got rid of it. Let me think. Yeah, I got rid of it before I had my first child. I want to say we traded it in on a Pinto of all things.
Mom's orange Pinto.
Yeah, and then we had that. Well, then I bought that Boss.
Yeah. So when did you buy the Boss 302?
I want to say it was 1972.
Yeah.
I bought it off a kid from Hershey. I think he drag raced it or something.
Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer. He blew up the motor twice, and I think first time it got fixed on a warranty, and the second time he had to pay to get it fixed. So that's when he put it up for sale.
Yeah.
And I bought it. And as far as I can tell, it's still on the road, still around. It's owned by somebody in New Jersey, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Indeed.
But it was a fun car. Then when the house and the kids came along, I got rid of it. And that was, I don't know, regrettably I got rid of it, but I moved on.
You had
So things more practical.
Yeah. You had said that you used to do odd jobs.
Yeah, I did some carpenter work, some painting, things like that on the side.
Yeah.
And I was painting the firehouse doors on the Silver Springs firehouse over on the Carlisle Pike.
Silver Springs Fire Department.
Yeah, one evening I was over there working. My wife dropped me off, and I'm not sure what she was doing, went shopping or something, I don't know.
And now the Carlisle Pike was fairly busy.
Yeah, it's not like it is today,
Not like
but
it
it was
is
still
now, but it
fairly
was still
busy.
fairly busy, and it was still red light, red light, red light,
Yeah,
red
there
light.
was I'm painting away in the evening, and I heard this commotion from down the street a ways.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think too much of it, but a car went by making couple guys in it. It was noise, making a lot of noise.
Exhaust noise.
Yeah, and then I'm painting, and after a bit, my wife pulls in the parking lot. She'd been driving the boss, so she came to pick me up. We're talking for a little bit, and she sort of mentioned it, asked me if I'd seen a car go by before she got there. And I said, well, yeah, it was like a Chevy Nova. There was 2 or 3 guys in it. They were, sort of hooting and hollering and whatnot. But she looked at me and said, yeah. She said, I just cleaned his clock down here at the red light. I said, oh my. So that was, she was going to have a leg foot.
Is that the only time you can confirm that she ever might have stoplight raced that car?
On several occasions. A friend of mine was a youth counselor at his church for the, teenage, young adult group, whatever it was called, and he heard 2 of the guys talking about a lady in a green Mustang with blonde hair, green Mustang. And she smoked them going across the South Bridge. I didn't put 2 and 2 together right away, but my wife would drop me off on Front Street in Harrisburg where I work, and then down Front Street and head across the Harvey Taylor Bridge. Well, evidently, this person was going that same direction some morning, and Mrs. Hoffer put her foot down, and I found out about it much later. But, yeah. And then another occasion when I was going to work one morning, she worked on the West Shore. I worked at AMP at the time, which was just
maybe
next to the Eisenhower interchange.
So probably
right now.
Maybe a mile from where you were at. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I was probably, as the crow flies, I wasn't more than a couple hundred yards from where I worked.
Yeah.
But I had to drive up the access road and turn and come back down the other side to get to my office building. But I was getting ready to pull out, and I saw this car coming, and I thought, oh, looks like it's moving pretty good. I better wait. Well, it was Mrs. Hoffer on her way to work, and it's good I waited, because when she went by me, she was probably doing about 80, I guess. But the real story is, I had to drive maybe a half a mile, and I had one red light to contend with. So I drove up the access road, looped around in front of where Harrisburg East Mall is right now, came down the other side, turned on Friendship Road, drove into the building that I worked at, parked my car, walked into the building, hung up my coat, and picked up my phone I picked up my phone and dialed her number at her desk over in Sharmanstown, and she picked up the phone.
Now, how far was it from there to Sharmanstown? Another.
I'm going to say 8 miles, maybe. So, in time it took me to go around the loop and
in the time it
took
you to go half a mile and walk inside
into the building, she made it over to Sharmanstown. So she evidently didn't slow down much from the time I saw her. So. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was the 3 stories of Mom's hot rod days, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you got some of your own. So
yeah, we used to.
My need for speed is equally equally attained. It's ingrained on both sides of the chromosome spectrum.
You got it.
It's inherited.
You came by it naturally.
It's
It's
inheritable.
inherited both directions.
Heritable too.
Yeah.
You said about the road that used to go from Bachmanville.
Oh, the road from Bachmanville to Campbelltown.
Campbelltown.
Back in the day when we were teenagers, got our licenses and whatnot. That wasn't built up the way it is now, but it was about 2 miles, and it was up and down hills and some
lefties
curves.
and righties
And back in the day, if you couldn't get from the bank in Campbelltown to the crossroad in Bachmanville in 2 minutes, you weren't doing it right. So that used to be our little road course.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, I don't know, the local township cop or something, he must have got wind of it, and he tried to catch us a couple times, but he didn't have much luck. We always had a pretty good head start because we knew where he was.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going by him at a pretty good clip. So by the time he got things going, turned the lights on and everything else, we had at least a half a mile head start on him. So that was the last we saw, or he saw of us. And then when we get to the crossroad in Bachmanville, our house was one house off of the crossroad, and the driveway went back to a garage behind the house. So we just whipped in the driveway real quick, turn the lights out, yank the emergency brake, and sit there. And we could hear him coming, and he'd get to the crossroads and wasn't sure which way to go.
Yeah,
But
didn't know which way, left, right, or straight.
He'd make his choice, and he'd go. And this was a tradition that was passed on to my younger brother, because he did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so back in the day.
And they never saw your guys' cars like parked behind the house and put 2 and 2 together.
Well, we lived in a different county. When we left Campbelltown, the first probably mile and a half or so, we were in Lebanon County.
Okay.
And technically, I guess, he followed us into the next county,
Yeah.
which we lived in Dauphin County. So I don't know, how his jurisdiction was back then, but like, well, they got away again. So I don't know. That was pretty much, that, and I had some cousins that were motorheads.
Mm-hmm.
And my one cousin Al, he had several cars that he thrashed pretty well. And then in the late 60s, he was working at the Chevy dealer in Hershey, and he ordered his Z28. Well, that was a fast car, and he hammered the crap out of it. There's many a night he limped home from Harrisburg with something less than 4 gears left in the transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So take it to work the next day, and the guys would put it back together, and he'd be up to the same stunts come the weekend. Yeah. So, but that was back in the days when the circuit in Harrisburg was where you went on Saturday night. You drove up 2nd Street to Barbecue Cottage and hung out a little bit, and then you went down the road down Front Street to Market Street, turned the corner and back up 2nd Street again. Or if you found somebody that wanted to participate, you turn right at the Harvey Taylor Bridge and line up and have a go at it.
Yeah. Yep.
And there was a lot of drag racing on the Harvey Taylor back then.
Who is it that you talked about that had a Sunbeam Tiger?
Oh, that was a friend of mine from high school.
Yeah.
He got a little Sunbeam Tiger.
Now,
And
for anybody who doesn't know what a Sunbeam Tiger is, that's another creation of Shelby American.
yeah, it's a car that was about the size of an NGB, and they crammed a 289 Ford or 260 Ford V8 in it.
289.
And those things were awesome. And this kid we were riding around one night and they decided we were going to go to the car wash. So we went to the car wash, washed the car, and this was down at the lower end of Palmyra. We pulled out of the car wash on 422, and there was, some traffic coming or something, so he tramped on it a little bit too hard, and we did a 180 right back into the car wash. So, I mean, we didn't hit anything or anything, but I think he was as surprised as I was. It's like, holy crap.
We were just here.
Yeah, the tires were wet, and
Mm-hmm.
we went around, went right back where we came from.
Yeah.
But then my cousin used to take his Z28 to the square in Palmyra.
Which cousin was this?
Alvin.
Alvin.
And
Alvin.
we'll crank the steering wheel all the way against the lock and stand on it and spin
Spin
circles in the
In
square
the square.
for a little bit. I don't know how many times he'd go around and he'd take off.
Just to see
If the cop would
See if
chase
he
him,
could-
I guess.
see if he could attract an officer.
Yeah, we had
Duke's
the most fun we had was with his little Honda 160. We were both on it, and we would bait the cop in Palmyra, get him to chase us, and then we'd start cutting down alleys and back streets and stuff, and he would try and keep up to us. Well, I don't know, at that time he had some big Dodge, I don't know what it was.
Monaco or
Monaco,
something like
Polara, I don't know, something, but it was, he'd have to stop and back
18
up to
that.
get
18
around,
feet long.
to get around the corners,
'Cause you're
back in the alleys and stuff. But Alan was nice, he'd sit there and wait for it, and then we'd take off. And we'd do that for a little while, and then we'd head out through the countryside. I know a couple of times we went out to the carnival out in Belle Grove, and we'd hang out there for a little while and then come back in town and see what happened.
Sorry.
But yeah, it was funny. Nobody got hurt, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got that thing up to 85 mile an hour one night going down the hill on 934 behind Anvil. Two of us on it, hunkered down, throttle wide open, and gravity was on our side, so.
Hunkered down like a bobsled team.
Yeah. So
Keep the wind off of you.
that was good. Yeah. Trying to think. I don't know.
What was the story you told me once about a pavilion full of picnickers and you having a box full of quarter sticks at back?
Yeah.
M80s.
Yeah. I was in the Army. I was home on leave, and down south you could buy, cherry bombs, quarter sticks, whatever they call them. They were the real thing. They'd blow your hand off, and I had some of them. And there was a drive-in.
And you brought them north, where
I brought some along back.
where
And
most
there
of the
was
people are unfamiliar
There
with
was
it.
a drive-in eating place down below Elizabethtown, and they had speakers. You'd pull in under the pavilion and talk to the little box, and the girls would bring your food out and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
we were down there. A buddy of mine was driving, and I had a couple of these quarter sticks. I said, well, I'm going to light one of these things. When I tell you go, you better go. I lit this thing and heaved it up on the roof of the place, and it was like a corrugated tin roof or something. And he took off, and we're going down the street. I'm looking out the back, and you see this flash of light. Boom! And I know there was a couple milkshakes wound up people's laps, I'm sure. Because later on, a week or so later, whatever, a couple days, I don't know what it was, drove back, and you could see there was a nice, might have been a hole the size of like a gallon paint can or something in the roof. So, yeah, that was it. I hope the guy that owned the drive-in eating place is dead, because if he sees this, he'll probably be coming after me.
I think the statute of limitations
A
is up.
good chance he's not around anymore. Yeah. So we had some pretty good times. Fortunately, we all lived to tell about it.
Mm-hmm. Who was the cousin with the 3 deuce setup?
Oh, that was not a cousin. That was,
No, that was
just a local
okay.
hillbilly friend.
Yeah.
He used to buy up cars. This was back in the probably like
Flathead
late
Ford.
50s, when you could find, you know, 15-year-old, you know, you could buy a 49 or 50, 51, 52 Ford for a couple $100. And he had a 3 deuces manifold that would fit a flathead. So he'd find a car, buy it, put the 3 deuces on it, and just drive it into the ground. I mean, totally wear it out. And when that happened, he'd shove it in the weeds along his lane and go find another one. And I don't know how many of those cars that he had stuck in the weeds along his lane, but when you drove in there at night, you could see tail lights reflecting all the way along his, and it was his lane was probably, I don't know if it was a quarter mile maybe, or maybe a little less, but it was off the road quite a bit. So yeah. Rocky Williams.
Imagine finding
He
all
was
the cars
crazy.
still in there.
Last time I rode with him, he had a 55 or 56 Ford, and we were airborne when he tried to shift. I don't know, it was from first to second, and something didn't fit. It made some ugly noises, and when we came down, it didn't want to go. I don't know what happened. And another guy he had a 55 Ford, and he had, what do they call them, Hollywood mufflers, glass backs, whatever back there. And this car, and it would do it every time. You drive along, turn the ignition switch off.
Oh yeah.
Wait a second, turn it back on, and it would go boom.
Key bagging.
And
Yep.
at the west end of Hershey, the main street sort of turned to the left, but the old road went straight ahead, and you went down under a railroad bridge. And there was this poor kid coming the other way on a bicycle, and we turned this thing off and turned it back on. And if that kid didn't shit his pants, it wasn't our fault. And he looked back, and he's going all over the place in his bicycle. Thought he'd been shot, I guess. I don't know.
Oh God.
But that was pretty funny. I think what else?
Blew that poor kid's eardrums out.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, later on, when we got a little bit older and alcohol came into play, there was some more shenanigans.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
Can't wait to hear more about the future shenanigans.
yeah, we'll get some more
We'll
together.
get some more stories together for next time.
All right.
All right, folks. Well, that's that for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. And, as always, hope you learned something today. What to do or what not to do. Yeah. I'm Tim Toolman. That's Papa Toolman. Take care. Bye-bye.